Hello again, learners! How is it going? It's been a while and now we're in our third reading. Today, we will discuss the Lesson 1, Music of India. India is a country in South Asia. It is the second most populous country, the seventh largest country by land area, and the most populous democracy in the world. The capital of India is New Delhi, and their languages are Hindi and English. India, the largest country in South Asia. Its music is as vast as its geographic location and as large as its demographic population. The music of India reflects different aspects of Asian culture through its timbre, rhythm, melody, texture, form, and style. In general, Indian music remains fundamental to the lives of the people of India as a source of spiritual inspiration, cultural expression, and entertainment. Now, let us discuss their vocal music. India's classical music tradition includes Carnatic and Hindustani. Music which have developed over many centuries. Music of India also includes several types of folk and popular music. One aspect of vocal music uses melismatic singing with nasal vocal quality when compared with the Philippine music which uses melismatic singing is only used in chanting epics and the Passion. Samagana. Singing based on a set of pitches was popular even during the Vedic times. This style of singing developed into a strong and diverse tradition over several centuries, becoming an established part of contemporary tradition in India. Veda. The hymn in Veda, a sacred text, were sung as Samagana and not chanted. It is the third of the four Vedas of Hinduism, but ranks next to Rig Veda in terms of its sanctity and liturgical importance. Rig Veda. It is also sung in the Samagana traditional singing style. Because of its liturgical importance, Rig Veda is counted as first among the four canonical sacred texts of Hinduism known as Vedas. Rig Veda is an ancient Indian sacred collection of Vedic Sanskrit hymn. Some of its verses are still recited as Hindu prayers at religious functions and other occasions. Now, let us discuss the characteristics of traditional music from India. First, Carnatic music. It refers to music from South India, directed to a Hindu god, which is why it is called temple music. Unlike Hindustani music, Carnatic music is unified where schools are based on the same ragas, the same solo instruments, and the same rhythm instrument. Music pieces are mainly set for the voice and with lyrics. Compositions called Kriti are devotional songs. Hindustani music goes back to Vedic period times around 1000 BC. Further developed in the 13th and 14th centuries AD with Persian influences and from existing religious and folk music. Predominantly found in the northern and central regions. It is influenced by ancient Hindu musical traditions, historical Vedic religion, or Vedic philosophy, native Indian sounds, and enriched by the Persian performance practices of the Mughal era. Nasal singing is observed in their vocal music. In North India, the most common style of singing is called Kyal, a word which means imagination. Instrumental music. First, after learning about the vocal music of India, the next topic will help you learn the instrumental music of India. There are many musical instruments in India. Some instruments are used primarily in North Indian music, which is Hindustani Sangeet, while many other instruments are used in South Indian music, which Carnatic Sangeet. Instrumental music is often similar to vocal music, but sometimes they have distinctive instrumental styles. There are 5 known traditional systems for classification of instrument. Classification of musical instruments from India. First, gan. It is described as a non-membranous percussive instrument but with solid resonators. It is one of the oldest classes of instrument in India. It may also be a melodic instrument or instruments to keep tal. Gatam, karta, manjira, and note. Next, avanad. It is described as a membranous percussive instrument. This class of instruments typically comprise the drums, daf, dol, and tabla. Next, Sushir. It is also known as blown air. It is characterized by the use of air to excite the various resonators. Bansuri, Shenai, Shank, and Serpeti. Number 4, Tat. It referred to as Veena during the old civilizations. Instruments in this class are black or string instruments like sitar, gotuvadyam, gopikhand, ektar, and rabab. Last classification is Vitat. It is described as bowed string instruments. This is one of the oldest classifications of instruments and yet did not occupy a place in classical Indian music until the last few centuries. Like Banam, Asraj, Chikara, and Sarangi. Rhythm. Rhythm plays an important role in Indian music. It is fundamental to the creation of any musical system. Certainly, from a historical standpoint, rhythm existed many centuries ago before the word rag was ever used. Given this historical preeminence, it is not surprising that rhythm occupies an important position in the Indian system of music. Tala, literally meaning clap, variously transliterated as tal, taal, or tala. It is a regular repeating rhythmic phrase, particularly as rendered on a percussive instrument with an ebb and flow of various intonations represented as a theka. It is the common Indian system of rhythm. Theka, a sequence of drum syllables or ball. In Indian classical music, both Hindustani classical music and Carnatic music use complex rules to create elaborate patterns of rhythm. Tabla. This is the parts of tabla. It is the most common instrument for keeping rhythm in Hindustani music. Next, Mridangam. It is the most common instrument for keeping rhythm in Carnatic music. It is also transliterated as Mridang. Okay, before we end our lesson or our discussion for today, let us sum up first. Summary. The two main traditions of classical Indian music are Carnatic music, southern, and Hindustani music, northern. Rig Veda is an ancient Indian sacred collection of Vedic Sanskrit hymns. It is counted among the four canonical sacred texts of Hinduism known as Vedas. Some of its verses are still recited as Hindu prayers at religious functions and other occasions. Tala is the Indian system of rhythm. There are 5 known traditional systems of classification of instruments. These are Gan, Avanad, Sushir, Tat, and Vitat. That's all for today. Thank you and God bless.